So Desolation update added a ton of cool new stuff in No Man's Sky. A ton of it is very fun to play around with, but we also have some brand new rewards that you're definitely going to want to go ahead and hunt for. In this video I want to focus on these rewards and especially so the best practices when it comes to making the most out of the brand new Desolation update or update 2.60. So let's jump right into it, and as always a thumbs up on this video would definitely be super awesome. I also want to give a huge shout out to Instant Gaming once more for sponsoring this video. Of course, they've been a huge part of my channel for the past year or so. They constantly organize giveaways here for you guys, but they also sell games at some of the best prices you can find around. So if you also enjoy a ton of gaming discounts, definitely go ahead and check out my links in the description box down below. Let's begin with the Derelict Freighters, the main or the centerpiece of the brand new update. Now normally you can go to one of these brand new NPCs called Scrappers that were added on the space station, and for just a few million units you can purchase one of these new broadcasting receivers that will point you immediately towards your next Derelict Freighter. Now unfortunately this can be quite costly and not really worth it for the rewards that you're going to get, especially so when the prices can even jump over 15 to 20 million. So instead you're going to want to do this for free, and there's a few methods you can do this in. The first one and the most straightforward is to simply head over to the Space Anomaly and have a talk with Entity Helios, as he is going to give you one free receiver every single week, and you can just do so by simply talking to him and picking the appropriate dialogue option. And once you do that, you're going to see it that it's in your inventory. But you can still encounter Derelict Freighters also through random encounters. Again, you have two possibilities over here. You can either do it the old-fashioned way by simply warping around until hopefully you're going to see a Derelict Freighter spawning, but the much better and faster method to do it is to use some of these brand new items called the Anomaly Detectors. They randomly drop from any asteroid, so simply head to your nearest asteroid field and start shooting up until you start seeing at least a few of these dropping, and then you can start using them and they will immediately cause one of these random encounters to spawn. But again, it's not going to guarantee spawn one of those freighters, it's just going to make the random spawns kinda happen faster. This also brings us of course to the freighter encounter itself, and I want to talk about this a little bit since there are a few tips and tricks you should know if you want to make the most out of it. Now the freighter on the outside is almost always the same once it spawns. What changes though is the layout on the inside, because that's fully procedurally generated, not just for the layout of the rooms but also for everything that's inside of it, including the logs that give you the story of what happened with the crew inside of that abandoned freighter. Now inside a freighter you're going to find three separate teleporters, all marking three separate levels that the layout is set upon. The first one is automatically unlocked, but it's not tied with anything because the subsequent ones, which are on the lower levels, must be unlocked manually once you reach them. But this brings us to one of the first items you get to interact with, which are these logs right here. They are both procedurally generated, as they give you random pieces of story that tell you what happened with the crew, but they can also give you some of these access cards, so you're going to want to interact with them until you get the access card, which is something that you use to access the main terminals, including the crew logs and the captain's cabin log. But nonetheless, there's a ton of them over there that you can further access after getting the access key, and they do give you like the full story of what's happening. Again, all fully procedurally generated. Now some of the valuable items that you're also going to find inside, of course there are multiple of them, but not all of them are really 100% worth it. So some of the ones that you can find are these caches, including the blue briefcases. They can give you either a few hundred nanites or a few thousand units, it's all random. But there's also like the blue boxes, which I really thought they would give something more, but unfortunately they only seem to provide ammo, so unless you didn't craft any at all, this is a good backup resource for that. And you're definitely going to want to have some ammo with you at all times, because there's always some type of enemy over there. Usually it's the AI, either we have the turrets in the ceilings or the random drones that just like go all over the place, but you can also find alien encounters, some of which can be quite creepy if I might say so, especially when you get to spawn those small little alien horrors. But there's also like the floating green ones that don't seem to deal too much damage, so for that one I'm not too concerned. Nonetheless, we also have the floating canisters. They give you various metals and other materials for crafting. They could be useful in the early game, but later down the line I'm not really so sure. If you miss anything, these could be a good backup resource. Finally, we also have the Specimen Capsules, which just give you a ton of living slime. There's also like a ton of capsules all over the place, so it's really easy to amass thousands of living slime very fast, and you can then use that to further refine it into more nanites. But the rewards that you're actually going to be looking for are the ones at the very end of the encounter when you reach the final computer. So this is going to give you 3 options you can pick from. The first one is a tech upgrade for your freighter. So basically this provides you a technology module that you can install on your freighter inventory that's going to provide you some boosts to your fleet, and it's going to basically make it much better at, just sending it into expeditions and whatnot. The second one is the Bulkhead module, or the freighter inventory upgrade. Just like in the case of the ships, you can use these to increase your inventory size permanently by 1 slot, so you're going to need quite a few of these in order to fully upgrade your inventory, and it also works for the tech upgrades as well. Finally, we also have the nanites that you can get, but this is the one option that I definitely not recommend. It only gave me less than 500 nanites for an encounter that lasts at least 5 to 10 minutes, maybe even 15, so I wouldn't choose this. Maybe even go with the tech upgrade and sell the tech upgrade for at least the same amount of profit if it's not that useful anyway. But this also brings us, of course, to those captain and crew logs. These are separate from the ones that you access manually on the surfaces. These ones you get from the various terminals that you access on each of the levels of the freighter. So these can come in different types of classes, from C all the way to the maximum. You can do 2 things with these ones. You can either sell them back at the same scrapper, and it usually goes for about 1000 nanites for both of these, assuming their maximum rank, but you can also donate them at the guild vendor inside the same space station. And this is the option that I actually prefer more, because it gives you not one but several faction ranks, up to at least 5 from what I've been able to tell. So this means that from the 20 levels that you have for each faction, you can quickly upgrade your rank and reach level 20 with just 3 or 4 of these freighter encounters at the maximums. Anyway, that is it with the freighters, and now let's move over to some of the brand new missions that were added on the Nexus. And one of them that I did and I kinda enjoyed was this new rescue mission, which basically involves you going on and rescuing a stranded alien life form on a random planet somewhere in the universe. So basically you're going to find this alien stranded with the ship being crashed right beside him, and he's going to require a certain item in order to repair that ship and safely go back into space. Now the mission might require you to do a bunch of stuff, including digging for certain technologies that are buried underground, so you might have to travel quite a bit on the planet until you're able to find those. It's also very likely that once you reach those points, you're going to see that the technology that you're searching for might be protected by a big group of well-corrupted sentinels, case in which you're going to have to take care of them before you're going to be able to take that tech. Once you've done that, you can go back at the NPC, give him that technology, and that's basically the whole mission. His ship is going to be repaired, it's going to go up into space, and he's going to pulse away, kind of with a cool effect on it, if I might say so. Now on a final note, we also have a bunch of other miscellaneous changes also for the freighter. The one that I've enjoyed the most is the fact that storage containers now appear as separate tabs in your freighter inventory screen. So every time you create a brand new container room, you're going to see a brand new tab of 20 slots appearing in your freighter inventory. And it's not just that, you can also rename these container rooms, and that name, whichever it is going to appear in your inventory freighter as well, which actually makes things so much better at just navigating and organizing all of your items and materials. Finally, there's the customization options that basically come in the form of these color changes you can apply to your freighter, and I kinda dig this. I never had the proper colors on my freighter, so now this gives me the chance to actually apply the ones that I enjoy. The problem is, it costs 5,000 Quicksilver to unlock one single color, which, by the way, if you unlock a color, it unlocks both the brighter as well as the darker version of the same color. So for example, for black, you're going to unlock both black as well as the light gray one that also exists over there. But otherwise, yeah, it's pretty legit. It just costs a ton, but I guess it's a good Quicksilver sink, since a ton of people have a ton of Quicksilver anyway. And again, if you want to make Quicksilver, I've already made tips and tricks and guides in the past on how to make this very fast. best. Otherwise, again, very happy with the update. It seems very legit. I don't think this is the major update we've been waiting for. I'm still waiting for something like on the next scale or beyond level kind of update, but it remains to be seen if that's going to happen this year. I don't even think it's going to happen anymore this summer, because it might be a few months later down the line, maybe even like fall, maybe closer to the winter. It depends how long Hello Games is pushing these things for and how much work they have done up until now. But as always, I'm going to keep you guys up to date with everything No Man's Sky related. As always, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to comment, like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and peace.